Hey, how's it going? My name is Fred Levi. I'm with Approve My Score, and I wanted to talk to you guys today about the 5 sections of a credit report. And this is based on a FICO credit score. So you have 5 factors of a FICO credit score. The first factor, which accounts for 35% of your score, is your payment history. Payment history accounts for 35%. The next highest portion of your FICO credit score is your utilization ratio, which accounts for 30% of your FICO score. Then next down the line is at 15%, which would be your length of credit. And then you have 2 sections that account for 10% each, one being the mix of credit and the second being the new accounts. So these are the 5 sections of a credit score, a FICO credit score, and I wanted to go ahead and break each one of these sections down to try to help you understand how these scores are broken up. So you have the FICO scores range from 300 to 850 points. So there's a 550 point spread. So just keep that in mind when we're talking about these generalities of numbers. And it's something that will help you understand. There's no real tried and true method of finding out exactly what these scores are, how they're broken down, as the algorithms are not displayed by FICO. They just give you the generalities of what I've already discussed with the 5 sections and the percentages that I mentioned earlier. So payment history, which accounts for 35% of your FICO score, this is how you pay your bills, and anything paid late will affect this number. If it's within the past 24 months, you'll have a higher portion of your score that's going to be affected. It's going to affect it a lot more than if it's older than 24 months. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're paying your bills on time. Make sure that you keep these numbers in mind. 35% is a very large number, so you want to make sure that you keep that in mind when you're working on your credit. Okay, the next section is utilization. How are you utilizing your debts? Okay, so you have, this accounts for 30%. Okay, 30% of your score is dependent upon this section right here. So this is the quickest section that you'll be able to manipulate the system. What you can do is they take your revolving accounts, whether open or closed, and these are the numbers that are broken down to give you these numbers in regards to what your utilization ratio is. So we're looking at revolving accounts. Installments don't count. Student loans, mortgages, or home loans, those or car payments, those don't work in this situation. What we're looking at is credit cards. Okay, credit cards that have a revolving line. Anything that the numbers are changing constantly. Those are what you're looking at. So given that fact, what you're going to do is you can ask for a credit line increase. This will instantaneously, more than likely, boost up your credit score once they report that credit line increase if you're approved for it. Now, you don't want to go out requesting to get a credit line increase if your credit is bad. You want to first try to work on improving what you have already. Okay. The second thing that you're going to want to do is, you may need to open an account with a larger limit. Okay. And if you need help in getting one of those, I can refer you to one. I have 2 accounts. One will give you a $5,000 limit. The other one is anywhere between $1,100 and $6,500, just depending upon where you are with your credit, and it's credit approved based, so it's based on what your scores are at that particular time. Like I said, if you need help with obtaining these types of accounts, please reach out to me. and I will go ahead and help you guys get those numbers installed, okay? So like I said, that accounts for 30%. A lot of times if somebody gets these two accounts, it'll give them the boost that they need. Sometimes people are looking at trying to buy a home, and they're maybe 10, 20, 30 points off. This may be able to get you there. So this is, like I said, it's the quickest way to get your, to manipulate the system to get you where you need to be. The next section is length of credit. This is the average length of credit of all of your accounts. So when you opened your very first account and when you open your very last account and every account between those, you want to be over 5 years on average to get you a pretty decent amount of points from this section of your credit FICO score. Okay. If you go out and get a new account, it may drop your score just depending upon how thick your credit file is. So this is something that you guys want to keep in mind. You want to think about all sections of the report, this FICO Pie Chart, if you will. Okay. The next section I want to talk about is mix of credit. This accounts for 10% of your score. So in regards to your mix of credit, this are the types of accounts that you have. What I always recommend my clients to do is to at least have 3 revolving open accounts. So if they're closed or have been closed, we're going to recommend that you have 3 open revolving accounts. Very important to make sure that they are open, and we want 3 of them. From there, we're going to want to have at least 1 installment loan. This can be a student loan or a car payment. And then we want 1 mortgage. If you can have a mix of those 3 items, well, actually it's 5 items, but 3 categories, you'll be golden. It'll give you the best chances of getting the most amount of points on this section of the credit report. Okay, and like I said, this accounts for 10%, which is the mix of credit. And then the last section that we have, which is another 10%, is new accounts. This is inquiries. So we don't want you applying for credit, especially if you have a thin file. Credit inquiries can have a very big impact on your score, especially if you're trying to buy a house or a car. This can have a huge impact on whether or not you would be approved for that loan. So it's very important not to go out shotgunning going out trying to apply for credit every time you go to the store. You go to JCPenney's and they ask if you want to open up an account, and you say okay. Go to Home Depot, they ask you if you want to open an account to save 10%, you say okay. This is something you guys don't want to do. You guys want to focus on only applying for credit, 1, when you need it, and 2, if you think that you're going to qualify. Now, if you have a 500 credit score, chances are you're not going to qualify for these types of credit accounts. Okay. Now, the accounts I spoke about earlier, as long as you're over 500, more than likely I can get you approved. And it's something that I would let you know. I would want to do an audit on your file just to see what's on your credit, how your file is looking, and then let you know if I think it's a good fit for you to apply for credit with the account. And if you are able to get those accounts, I'll teach you how to use the accounts to report to your credit report, and more importantly, how to not close the account, because when you close the account, it goes back to that 15% that we talked about, that average length of credit. So when you close accounts, it stops it right there, as far as how long your open accounts have been, all of your accounts have been open. So if you open an account today, say it's January 1st, 2015, and then you close it 8 months later, you're only going to have 8 months worth of history on that account. When you can keep it open, and just never close it. Just utilize it, you know, maybe once every quarter or once every 6 months. And then, you know, the file's going to build, and it's going to build onto your credit report. So I just wanted to come out to you guys and talk about these 5 sections of the FICO credit pie chart to give you guys an idea of how the system works, how the percentages work. Like I said, we're never going to know what the real criteria is and how it's actually calculated. That's proprietary information by FICO. They will not release that information, but the information I just discussed, this is the information that you guys are going to want to study on, because this information will give you guys the information that you guys need to build your file, keep your file in good standings, and you know, just build a file that's going to be able to, you'll be able to utilize in the years to come. Okay. Again, my name is Fred Livai with Approve My Score. If you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to reach out. You can please comment below, like the page, and we look forward to helping you guys out sometime in the future. Thank you.